and a place. Okay. Good morning and good afternoon. I'm Katalia Han, currently based in Australia. Thank you so much, International Center for Climate Change and Development, ICCCAD, and the South Asia Resilience Hub for the invitation to deliver our strong message towards COP28. This open session will be among other October serial webinars held by ICCCAD for the formulation of Voice from a Global South. Before our session is kicked off, please turn off your camera and mute yourselves for a more friendly webinar environment. So Fatin, could you please share the screen? Thank you. The page 2. Today, the floor has been given to Universal Versatile Society, UV Society, and NISAG Foundation for promoting youth leadership and gender justice in climate change combat under the theme of Unmask the Power of Women and Youth in Green Transition for a more sustainable and traceable agri-food transformation system in the Asia-Pacific region. To begin with, please allow me to briefly introduce our today's guest speakers as well as arrangements. Mr. Solanki is the president of Universal Versatile Society, who is supposed to exhibit 2 case studies for knowledge dissemination, but unfortunately before this session, he told me that he's occupied by schoolwork, so I'm going to read his script instead. Vikrant, a youth leader, is currently one of the youth policy board members of Food and Agriculture Organization, the CEO and co-founder of NISAG Foundation, regional focal point for Asia and the Pacific at Children and Youth Major Group of UNEP. Let's have a great round of applause to welcome them. I can't wait to hear more about their experiences and insights for furthering the aspiration of implementing national and regional climate actions. The objectives of today's open session are, firstly, enhance the public awareness of climate actions in agriculture and disseminate the signals of Agenda 2030 for advancement of sub-regional economies by mobilizing global social resources at all levels. Secondly, equip participants with hands-on skills of launching feminist campaigns or learning hub programs for food sovereignty and environmental governance in South Asia and beyond. Thirdly, amplify the voices of women and youth through collective actions and alliances and improve their employability in agri-food transformation system. In the end, advocate the broad application of disruptive technology on farmlands and monitoring of underground water management to give an impulse to crop yields, soil capacity for a robust data-driven produce analysis system. As today's meeting moderator, please follow me to dive into today's first chapter.
I've seen you headlines, but I didn't see that.
Okay. So as I explained before, Mr. Solanki is very occupied by schoolwork for teaching students at this moment. So as part of the advisory board of UVS, I will read his message to the audience instead. Here his script goes. Good morning and good afternoon, my dear colleagues who are also concerned with climate change. I'm Narayan Solanki, the president of Universal Versatile Society. It's my pleasure to join the event from India. Today, I would love to guide you through UVS journey towards digital solution for agri-food transformation system in line with the FAO strategies to aid climate resilience. My presentation will focus on identifying the cross-cutting issues in agri-food in the agri-food transformation system confronted by Indian farmers in the Vidarbha region, and introducing cost-effective archetypes that has been applied to experimental fields and demonstrated as a great success for further widespread duplication in the Asia-Pacific region. Two undergoing flagship programs operated by UVS are research-based mental health survey and a digitized eco-village program. From this page, you will learn the concepts and the progressive achievements made for a robust agri-food transformation system to reshape a more sustainable and resilient community. Meantime, it's also a fantastic opportunity to exchange thoughts on social mobilization for amplifying youth leadership, women empowerment, capacity building in the establishment of vegan cities. At last, future opportunities will be underscored to advance cultural diversity, young vegan advocacy, and the rural electrification for circular economy. UVS is an Indian NGO founded in 2005 in special consultative status with UN ECOSOC, UNEP, and UNCCD. With state government's support, UVS has taken the lead in climate capacity building, education equity, public health, and women empowerment, and other thematic areas of 17 Sustainable Development Goals by mobilizing global social resources for years. After thousands of efforts made to ensure climate stakeholders a better welfare and a livelihood in agriculture, Universal Versatile Society is running two flagship programs accredited by the UNEP and Food Agriculture Organization, which namely are research-based mental health survey and a digitized eco-village program, respectively. First of all, speaking of the mental health survey, the first stunning truth that I must share with you is India has surpassed China as the world's most populous country by June 2023, as per UN statistics. According to the UN Population Fund's State of World Population Report for 2023, India's population as projected will reach 1.4286 billion, outnumbering China's by 2.9 million. It's truly happening. What does that mean? The dramatic increase in fertility rates is strongly connected to the welfare of nationals. First of all, I would love to tell you more about this research-based mental health program. As a representative among others voicing for the Global South in agriculture sector, I've led a team of global talents to bring about the research-assured mental health survey as UN volunteers in conjunction with academic institutes from Latin America. Okay, this is how our research journey started. Geographically, Vidarbha region in the state of Maharashtra is an agriculture-intensive region, which has witnessed high farmer suicide rates for years. Poverty, insufficient government aid, unstable climate conditions such as water scarcity, drought, and other impact factors have jointly led to a soar of farmers' suicides. We suspect that approximately 8,500 farmers died of suicide between 2016 to 2019, while no press releases have ever reported the real number. Lack of information transparency and access to information. The figures could be even higher than expected, so that the corresponding risks keep upsurging. Without preventative approaches or effective detective methods, we confront the rise in environmental and cultural crises, along with depression and a suicide rate year by year. This project is aimed to shed a new light on enhancement of mental health conditions through care and rehabilitation services offered to the farmers. The program has been designed to amplify public awareness, make assessments, and to enable the adoption of interventions for advancing mental health. Impediments faced have been broken down into 4 phases in order to prevent suicidal tendencies in villages and induce resilience to economic, social, and cultural problems in the long run. The 4 phases are, Fatin, next page. Sorry, next page. Yes. The 4 phases are, the phase 1, in this phase, the mass dissemination of the program is projected. It will be promoted via local media, community gatherings, and orientation to the population to build awareness and intent of the program within the community and advance access to it. The phase 2, in this specific phase, all community intervention activities such as field work, collection of the household data through house survey and a preliminary diagnosis and a referral of high-level complexity cases for hospital care. For the phase 3, individual and community monitoring activities are contemplated, and consultations will be offered for the community level, and the volunteer team will be involved in the field so that every patient or people in concern will be treated equally. In phase 4, in this phase, training programs aimed at prevention of suicide and suicidal behavior management will be conducted. Activities such as yoga, medication, community activities, and so on will be offered. Even after the project's completion, the community engagement program shall continue through the establishment of the focus group consisting of local authorities, volunteers, and self-help groups who will continue to engage the community by conducting happiness programs and monitoring the process. Fatin, next page, please. Thank you. The second program is entitled Digitized Eco-Village Program. When it comes to the second program, it's necessary to re-stress the term eco-village. The eco-village term was firstly coined by Richard Register in his 1987 book, Eco-City Berkeley, in the context of an organization called Urban Ecology. With time passing by and business modes getting more diverse, the conception has been treated as a truism and morphed into digital village, driven by AI integrated system and 4G plus bandwidth network. The 1000 Digital Village Initiative DVI plan rolled out by Food Agriculture Organization in the Asia Pacific region is to promote digital innovations to rural communities, enabling economic livelihoods, individual well-being, and a social cohesion in its real sense. As we can observe what has been reiterated in the headlines, digital village, agriculture technology, unmanned aerial vehicles, which is drones application, C2C and a D2C collaboration modes to upgrade the value chain of agri-food transformation system. All of them are telling us one story. That is, modernizing rural villages in developing countries has been the red-hot mission coincidentally. India has been championing information and communications technology, ICT, as a driver for growth in the region since 2015. In November 2015, India offered a US $1 billion credit line to promote projects that support physical and digital connectivity between India and ASEAN countries. In 2016, India proposed setting up a regional high-capacity optical fiber network, a national rural broadband network, digital villages in rural and remote areas, and capacity building programs. In October 2019, India planned to build 100,000 digital villages in the next 5 years. Unfortunately, the ambition was almost melted in the thin air owing to COVID-19. To reignite the plan and answer the call of vows for betters, that is, better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life, leaving no one behind, UV Society launched the Digital Village program and set pilot trial fields within the region to enable STEM women's participation in agriculture, empower youth leadership to dive into disruptive innovation, and arouse awareness of veganism among young people. Whilst constraints on traveling were lifted gradually at home and abroad, the previous joint efforts will be carried forward for rejuvenating rural areas. China has disseminated its plan to narrow the urban-rural divide through data-driven platforms to strengthen the networks beyond borders. Likewise, to remove the obstacles caused by COVID and reconnect the isolated dots in rural villages. India villages in Maharashtra have gone offline daily to help people. Establishing eco-villages promoted by powerful and user-friendly AI systems is an intergenerational topic. The youth's potential to become key opinion leaders and calling and leading vegetarian troops is huge for a greener vegan village. To achieve this, we need to mobilize all kinds of social resources to carry out the plan. And for future opportunities, to further our core ideology and achieve eco-villages using collective endeavors, I'd like to urge you to join us in this grand campaign to look after vulnerable groups in agriculture and agri-food transformation system, leaving no one behind. At last, my dear friends, how to combine the advantages of nature-based and technology-short approaches in coordination with the First Nations to tackle climate crisis facing farmers, how to transform meat eaters into vegans for responsible production and consumption will be the trending in the next few decades. Thank you so much for listening. Then I will present under the theme of a lack of women's participation in climate action put gender justice in jeopardy, to discuss women's vulnerable position and a great potential in combating climate change, especially in agriculture and agri-food transformation system for cutting greenhouse gas emissions and gender justice. Well, in my recent study, sorry, Fatin, next page. In my recent study on China's 2021 updated nationally determined contributions and the National Adaptation Plan, my coworker And I found that limited words pertinent to women's role in climate change as vulnerable groups or beneficiaries can be witnessed. Neither has China released any official documents directly linked to national gender and climate change plans. Different from other developing countries such as Bangladesh and Nepal. In particular, no such wordings associated with gender equality or gender justice or women's role in the developing process of nationally determined contributions are mentioned in the original NDC or its update in 2021. Then how could young women harness the key procedures and lead the social movement to better their participation in safeguarding food security and gender justice and climate change? First of all, public awareness of gender equality and gender justice should be broadly enhanced across local governments and village committees on the specific impact of climate change, man-made and natural disasters, and its scarcity on the lives of women and girls. To better answer the call of UNDP, a gender-sensitive database as well as platform for global community to exchange and interact information on climate change ought to be set up with core indicators in key areas, including economy, education, employment status, marital status, and a proportion of household work. Next, the voices of women and girls should be heard, amplified, and considered seriously at all decision-making levels to ensure that they are at least consulted and their needs should be integrated into local decision-making processes. Back in China, it's more like autonomous prefectures discussion and a steering committee at different levels of Chinese government deputies. Relevant authorities from top to bottom should be trained on how to mainstream gender into climate-related policies, initiatives, and projects. Statistics showed only 35% laborers in renewable energy sector are women. A certain number of qualified female climate stakeholders should be involved in national climate mitigation strategy and adaptation plans. Gender equality as an effective tool to close STEM gap in gender could also contribute to bolstering climate action. After that, women's access to information and facilities for disaster reduction should be enhanced. Women should be granted equal and adequate access to productive resources, financial services, eco-agricultural technologies, and opportunities in capacity building against natural disasters. As per one estimate of Digital Library of the United Nations, if all women smallholders received equal access to resources, their farm yields would rise by 20 to 30%. 100 to 150 million people would no longer suffer from poverty, and carbon dioxide emissions could be reduced by 2.1 gigatons by 2050 through improved farm practices. Finally, intergovernmental climate collaborations and dialogues on women's leadership for just transition, renewable energy, and climate capacity building should be supported and promoted. The successful practices and case studies from Western countries can be disseminated and proliferated in developing communities. Now, I believe another guest speaker of today is ready to tell us the ins and outs of nature-based solutions application to achieve regenerative agriculture and youth's irreplaceable role in between. So I'm going to forward my microphone to Vikrant.
Thank you so much, Katalia. Thank you, everyone. Very good morning, very good afternoon. I would like to share my screen if that's okay. Kat? I can't hear you.
Fating, sorry,
Yes.
could you please let Vikrant share his screen?
Yes, I guess Vikrant is the co-host. He can share his screen. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, good. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good afternoon. Good morning from wherever you are joining. I'm Vikrant Srivastava, CEO, co-founder of Nisarg Foundation, a foundation that's a US-based foundation, but currently working in India uh, with with other parts of Asia Pacific. Also, recently we started our work in Nepal and Bhutan. Uh, so the foundation has till now impacted more than 50,000 individuals all around India. We have generated more than 300,000 USD. It's sort of a youth mobilization grant, and then this grant has been uh, initiated in some of the youth-led program uh, that has been taking places in India across different regions. Apart from the Nisarg Foundation, I also serve as Asia Pacific focal point for CYMG UNEP, which is the official youth constituency of UNEP process. We work around the UNEP mandates following the UNIA resolutions. This year, I have been fortunate to be selected as Youth Policy Board member for the World Food Forum facilitated by FAO. Within the FAO, we work on the food systems and also improving the nutrition, healthy diet, and also in concept of One Health program. Coming to the topic of our today's call, which I will be presenting. So we started a project called Regenerative Agriculture, but how and when we started, this is also very interesting. So in India, you all know that more than 50%, if you don't know, more than 50% of countries' workflows work around agri-food system. And directly more than 44% works on agriculture. And it all comprise more than 15% of India gross domestic product, which is the GDP. And with that, India is also one of the largest producers in different agriculture commodities such as milk, pulse, spices, and again, second largest producer of fruits, vegetable, and so. This has been again stressed by Catalia also that we have just crossed being one of the most the people in the world at this moment. We have more than 1.4 billion people, and that means that we have uh, a stress on our food, a stress on a present malnutrition problem itself. This financial year, we made 44 billion financial year with this agri-food system itself. But again, where the problem lies is that uh, uh, we have all the lands, we have all the present infrastructure, but at this present moment, what we, from the Indian perspective, what we are lacking is that we started following uh, the the green revolutions, which was in the beginning, was a massive boom, which brought more uh, uh, prosperity in context of Indian farmer. But later on these green revolution made us dependent on all the pesticides, made us dependent on all the fertilizer, that we stopped following our traditional knowledge, which sooner in the next 50 years after the Green Revolution, we almost forgot. So we from our end, the Nisarg Foundation started a project called Regenerative Agriculture. We wanted to bring all those traditional knowledge with the present availabilities of all the infrastructure we have. And with that, we started creating a small impact. We started a project in 7 acres of land and with the soil quality of 0.03. And in the next 3 years, we improved all the soil qualities. And this was one of the greatest achievement. We improved the soil quality with 0.03 to 2.28, which was again tested by the third party in India itself. Through genetic agriculture farming, we are promoting not just the traditional farming, but also with this we enhance the storage of the atmospheric carbon in the soil itself by again that creates a positive impact on the climate change, and again uh, it helps to fight the climate change and also create the positive impact in the environment. This also help us in farmers to secure more income by getting better rates by their produce. And this is a climate resilience model. With again, we with respect to the farming, we also help in balancing the uh, ecological factor and the ecosystem also. With all the carbon emission happening with this, we also promote carbon sequester, and that helps in the present scenario which is made by the fertilizer and other issues. Uh, the some of the success story again, what we did, we created a nursery, which you can see on my screen. It's an oval shaped nursery. So this nursery is successfully able to receive 50% of sunlight during daytime, and it's one of the climate resilient infrastructure of a nursery, and you can dismantle it in less than 3 hours, and you can replace it in the next other suitable place if you want to reuse it. So this is a opportunity for other entrepreneurs also, the youth entrepreneur, to work in agriculture field and to bring on those innovations that could be again support in the next generation of agriculture. Uh, with that, we are creating a long-lasting solution in the farmland, and this has created an impact in this region right now that we started with the 200 farmers, and at this present we have more than 2,000 farmers collaborated with us. Uh, Again, with all these things happening, we are also working on training the agroforestry methodology to the farmers, to the present farmers, because at this moment they have the traditional knowledge, but they also have to cope up with the present and the modern technology. So with this, we are working as a bridge to fill the gap. Uh, Again, we are also working on the present carbon percentage. Just so sorry. Yeah. With this, we are currently working on some of the sustainable agriculture, some of the sustainable goals. That is one, no poverty, where we focus on creating more healthy nutrition, not just the amount of the food, but also the quality of the food. Zero hunger in this project itself, in the area of more than 100 hectares of land, we are working that no family should be left out with the food. Uh, Good health well-being, again, I emphasize our project is that it does not talk only about the sustainable consumption, but also it talks about more on the healthier side of the food. With this, we are promoting regenerative agriculture farming. We are promoting organic uh, organic materials to bring more in context of sustainable farming, quality education in context to the sustainable agriculture. We are promoting workshop. We are having workshop in different with different farming families. Gender equality. In gender equality with the project, we also focus on at least having 40% of women in the farming, and also youth in agriculture. So in this reference, we also started youth and agriculture workshop in all the regions which we are targeting at this moment. Responsible consumption and production. Again, we with the workshop, with the training, we also promote the farmers and the people around that, how to be responsible towards the nature, how to be responsible toward ecosystem. Climate change. It centralizes all our work towards the climate change. We contribute in a little amount, but as you all know, the third big problem of climate change is again agriculture, food, and land. So we, from our end, are contributing in a little amount of space, and then like I said, we have collaborated with 2,000 farmers, and in the next 5 years, we are aiming around 15,000 farmers. So we, on our end, are contributing a little amount to the climate change. Life on land. It's again, at the end, we all need food to eat, and we just don't want those food that should be come out through the pesticide. And at this present scenario, I'm not talking about India, but also APAC region, we are so much dependent upon these pesticides. So this project is in words to creating a sustainable agriculture and also promoting the traditional knowledge in context of creating a climate resilience model where we work on different intersectional crops. We created a new methodology that is called Bagdhan. It's it was traditionally followed by having 12 crops in the land, and we improvise it with the present modern technology, and then we have at this moment we have a climate resilient farming technology that can survive in some of the extreme weather, and we tested in one of the most I will say one of the most harsh weather of India, where the water is less than 200 mm. So, uh, so yeah, this these are some of the things we are doing. Call for action. Definitely, I will take this opportunity to ask you all to come together and work together as a force to support bringing more advocacy based policy, and again where we can all together collaborate and foster in these collaboration in a partnership where we can promote sustainable agriculture, and also in process of enabling youth to engage to have the access of the funds, uh, promoting innovation finance mechanism, building more capacity, and also requiring the youth, those who are working on the ground. But at this present moment, if you see, one of the big problem we are facing in context of when we are working on sustainable agriculture or we talk about food and agriculture, youth at this moment don't want to work on agriculture. They don't see their career, they don't see their future in this. So we need to recognize those small efforts. We need to recognize those small initiative that has been taken by the youth so that they could call themselves as a chain maker and then they could be the leader of the next generation. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vikrant. Okay, thank you so much for updating our knowledge and rectifying our understanding of those terms and applications to reach circular economy. And if you don't mind, I would love to open the floor to the broader audience. If you have any questions to consult our expert today, please feel free to open your camera and unmute yourselves to raise questions. As alternative, you can also type down your questions or youth statements in the chat for better communications. And in the meantime, Vikrant, would you mind telling us how youth could utilize their limited social resources to partake in climate action in the whole of society? Or any words you would love to convey to encourage current youth to partake in the climate action?
Thank you so much, Catalia. At this present moment, we are living in a world of digitalization, and you all know that youth is the most prominent agent of this digitalization. They know everything, and we, from our end, we, as it says, the broader the population above 35, we are now following the youth, what they are doing, what they are up to next. So you could use these social platforms, these digital platforms to bring the changes in their community, what they are doing in the in the small reels, in the small videos, in the small context. They can deliver those messages towards a broader network. From a small example, when we started this project with 10 or 15 people, we in the next 2 years we brought the changes were visible on the ground, and we brought a lot of families on the ground, and we asked them to remove their shoes and walk on the ground, and then we recorded all those things, and they walked on the ground and they feel the change from their land to this particular land which we were working. And this got viral, and we got more than 5,000 euro of fund from the UK base, which we didn't connect it. So they saw the video. So that some sort of small changes could be brought, and this could be creative ideas, this could be creative synergy is what they are doing in the context of their any work related to agriculture, related to climate change.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vikrant. This is a very straightforward and a clear message forwarded to the Beyond community, not only for Indian people, but also for broader youth from elsewhere as well. So do you have any questions at this moment? Please feel free to raise your questions in the chat, or you can definitely unmute yourself or raise your hands just to have the engagement with us. If not, I'm going to wrap up our today's meeting. Okay. To sum up, if you are curious about our future projects underway and also want to express interest to join our future action plans, please don't hesitate to tune into our side events during COP28. We are more than happy to meet you in person in UAE and exchange ideas face to face. Thank you so much for your attention today. Please also don't forget to subscribe to South Asia Resilience Hub's channel via the web link that I just shared in the chat. Okay, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send an email and make an inquiry, and we will later then forward the key messages to COP28 through our LinkedIn profile. Thank you so much for your attention, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Looking forward to seeing you in a greener future. Sorry. Okay. There's one question. So how can you bring back IK and traditional knowledge in regenerative agriculture? I think Vikrant may be on his way to another consultation session for food and agriculture organization. He's quite busy too. So maybe Duijin, actually, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry about that. But I will definitely forward your question to him and also get the summarization for the answer and send the message back to you. So thank you so much for your attention, and we will see you next time. And thank you so much for team for this opportunity and arrangements made. Okay, very good. See ya.